After sharing with them, they actually asked of my age and how long I've been in the business.
I would. I mean,
Yes.
I think I would as well. Like as an owner who's 70, I'm talking to like someone my grandchild. Hi guys, welcome to our Locked In series where we share with you guys secrets on how our brokers sell listings at top record prices. If you're an owner who's looking to sell your unit or wondering how much your unit is valued at in the current market, scan the QR code here below and we'll be in touch with you. Today, we have a new face, Mr. Esmond, who is leading the 20-hour focus group in our team where we actually rising millionaires in the team. And also our sports IC to keep the team members fit and active.
Hello.
Yes, say hi.
Yeah.
Yeah, so today why we have Esmond here is because I think you guys have always been seeing me, Jervis, or Charlie on the Locked In series. You want to have a new face today, Esmond, to share with you guys how he sold a $16 million listing from a 70-year-old client.
Yes.
Maybe Esmond, you can share with them, how old are you this year?
I'm currently 27, turning 27 this year. So initially it was quite a hard start to eventually meet the clients that was so much older to get their trust from them.
Yeah, I think a lot of clients, I have met with them and they always ask, hey, how is it that you guys are getting listings at this price range when you guys are like below 30? So maybe you can share with us how you actually met with this client.
So I first met this client back in January 2024, last year.
Yep.
It was just a casual visit. I was visiting my auntie.
Yes.
So I happened to be around the area. I was early. So I went to walk around the area.
Yeah.
Yeah, then out of nowhere, this couple came along walking and then I went to say hi to them and then that's where the whole connection began and then, yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying to Esmond, maybe you know what, you should go visit your aunt more and then you can get listings like this. Just one visit and then you know a 60 million listing is in. But yeah, maybe you can share with us like, hey, how is it that you approach this client? How did you even get in touch with them to even get them to share their contact while they're on a walk?
Okay, so I first met them at when they were having a walk back there.
Yeah.
When I was just a little bit early when I was supposed to meet my aunt.
Yeah.
So I was just in the area and then casually I saw them and I said hi and introduced myself as a real estate agent. So at that point of time, they told me that they had uncertainties and they don't know if they should sell or not and asked me for my opinions at the point of time.
Yeah.
So I told them that, you know what, I'm going to go home and prepare some things for you guys before I meet you guys up in a week.
Yes.
So a week later, I shared with them. I did an analysis for their property.
Yeah.
And then I went on to take a look at whether they should make the move and currently they're standing at this age.
Yeah.
Would it be wise for them?
Yeah. Because currently, is it just a couple that's living in like a huge detached landed or have their kids moved out or are they still staying with the kids?
Okay, so they have 4 kids, but 2 of them has already moved out.
Yeah.
So the remaining 2 actually own their own property as well, but they're just leaving their parents, renting it out as an investment.
Yeah.
So they can move out anytime, at any point of time. So I did analysis for them. I shared with them like, you know what, since you guys don't really need such a huge space, which is like 11,000 square feet, which is really huge.
That is huge. That is like a huge villa that you can like live in.
Yeah,
and especially if only like 4 people in the house, I think the space is too big.
Correct. It was 4 people and 3 cats.
So the cats are enjoying the house for them.
Definitely, they had a catio. That's what the owner said.
A catio.
Yes. So in the back of the house where it is supposedly to be the patio, they built up this like whole net fencing thing just for the cats to be roaming freely like in the wild.
Yes, and maybe that catio is worth like $3 million.
Yes. So they had this they had all these structures for the cats, like really for them to climb on the wooden structures, like it's like an obstacle course for the cats.
It's like a pet shop in a bungalow.
Yes, it is at the back. Yeah. Hidden. So when I first went there, I shared with them all these things. They realized that, okay, you know what? Let's try. But before they thought of trying it, I shared with them about the systems and JNA had. So I showed them that how we have marketed various millions of property and how we have actually helped various owners actually hit record pricing for their properties. Yeah. So it wasn't just me that was standing in front of them. It was me and the team with our things that we have done before in the past that
Gave them the confidence.
Give them the confidence in it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think even for myself, when I first started in the industry, a lot of people would say, hey, you know what, you're so young. How is it that you're going to get the trust from the owners who are like much older than you? And I think even when I first started, having that system in place to help guide me on, hey, what are the things that you should be following through when you are getting listings, or even when clients who are looking to buy for investment. It's good that we already have this, we have already set the foundations and the operations in place so that whenever we have newcomers coming in, they just have to follow through.
Yep.
And we already have the track records that, hey, you know what, these are the operations that actually worked. You know what, let's continue doing it. And super glad that, you know, we are seeing new, I think you joined the industry about 1-2 years ago,
Yeah,
right?
I joined in 2023 at the start.
Yeah,
so it's going to be my 3rd year starting in January this year.
So he actually sold this $16 million listing in just his 2nd year. Yes. And it's a $16 million when his client is 70 and he is only 26 this year. I think this is impressive. It's really something that you don't see in the market. Someone 26 handling a $16 million listing. So how did the owner feel when you were sharing like all these systems that we had in place for J&E?
So at that point of time, they were uncertain lah. When they were trying to, after sharing with them, they actually asked of my age and how long I've been in the business.
I think I would as well. Like as an owner who's 70, I'm talking to like someone my grandchild.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure this is like a common question that we also face in the industry when.
So at that point of time, I didn't share with them. I told them that I'll share with you guys at the end of the presentation.
That is a good one. That is a good one. Yes.
So I went on to share with them everything. At the end of it, I told them to make a guess, like how long do you think I've been in the industry and how old do you think I am?
Yeah.
So they guessed I was like in early 30s and I've been like 5 to 8 years in the industry.
So it's either you have good experience, you showed them that you have good experience, or you look old.
Yes.
Mature
is the word.
Mature is the word. Okay. So they asked you for your age and then you told them you're going to share them at the end.
Yes.
But you shared with them the presentation first.
Yep.
Yeah? And how did they feel about the pricing analysis that you did, you know, the track records that we had?
So they were very confident. So they wanted like 17 million, 17.5 in fact.
Yeah.
So they had a little bit high expectations at the point of time. So they thought that, okay, you know what, since you guys are so great, let's challenge.
Yeah.
Let's go for 17.5 and then let's try to hit like record breaking. 17.5 is really record breaking.
Yeah.
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 So yeah, at the end of it, they decided to just trust in me into handling that property of theirs.
Yeah. So they actually gave you an exclusive for this listing, right?
Yep, that's right.
And I believe this was actually a fresh listing. So it's not a listing that has been on the market for quite some time. So you actually met them. This was a fresh listing. You marketed it firsthand.
Yep.
There were no other agents and it was an exclusive for 3 months.
Yep.
So it was an exclusive for 3 months. And how was it like marketing it for the first 3 months at 17.5 million?
Wow. So if everybody recalled back in January to March 2024, back then, interest rates were still pretty high.
Yes.
It was like 3.7, 3.6.
Yeah.
At least. And landed was moving really, really slow. So the enquiries were there, but there wasn't viewings. Because eventually when people found out that, this property sits on here with such attributes, they decided not to come down to view.
So what were the challenges that you faced for this listing? Like in terms of land size, location, facing? Because I mean, landed, there are some key attributes that clients would want. Like, you know, you want a quiet facing unit, you want a regular land plot. Is this something that the unit was able to offer? Okay,
so this unit sits on a detached plot only.
Yeah.
So in landed, when you sit on a detached plot, you can only build detached, which is a bungalow. Furthermore, this unit is facing the road.
Yeah. So it's direct road facing.
Yes. In landed, I think the top 3 things that you want to avoid is facing the road.
Yeah.
Odd shape, which is irregular shape. And also another one would possibly be having like, you are unable to build basement and things like that. So because you can't build more levels and more stories to build into your built-in area. So this unit actually had one of it, which is facing the road. And secondly, behind it was a childcare center. So these were the 2 main objections from the property itself.
Yeah.
However, it was a very nice, regular, squarish plot of land.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the main objections were these 2 things. That's why when people see, then they pantang a bit. They say that, facing the road, that's something that I wouldn't want because some people feel like it's Chonglu, but some people feel like it's perhaps, I'm welcoming, a lot of wealth into my property.
Yeah, so we have seen so many properties, and for some people, when the feng shui is bad, for some people, the feng shui is good.
Exactly.
For example, we had this listing. So this listing, the bus stop is right in front of the house. For some people, it's going to be noisy. We're going to have like the road noise coming in. But what we had from a different perspective from the owner was the feng shui master told them that this is actually good feng shui because then your wealth is going to stop right in front of your house. So feng shui is really, it's different for everyone.
It fits to personal.
Yes. So yeah, same thing for this house.
Yep.
Right. So what were the concerns that we had from the buyers that were viewing the place, or how many inquiries were coming in? Did all of the people that inquired view the place, or was it that after they knew of the facing, they didn't want to view?
So like what I mentioned earlier on, with regards to those pros and cons, there were 23 inquiries. Okay, but
within the 3 months.
No, in total
Okay.
In total for the whole time frame until it was sold.
Yeah.
But there was only 8 viewings.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in these 23 inquiries, most of them were like turned off and turned away by the fact that it was facing the road. So I had to find a different approach to position this unit in its best possible way.
Yeah.
So I went deeper and dived deeper into the market and see what was available at that point of time and what was there for people to purchase at that point of time. And there was no huge plot of land that was of regular shape.
Yeah.
So meaning per se that people, even if they bought at a 12,000 to 14,000 square feet, it was either something that had long driveway or something that was irregular plot of shape, which they cannot subdivide. However, mine could.
Yeah.
So at that point of time, I had to find out, what's the switch that I had to make?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I realized that there's a developer's listing selling nearby.
Yeah.
And they were asking pretty high.
How much was that for asking for?
They were asking for 4,000 over square feet they were asking at 2,008 plus per square feet, which brings it to about 12.8 million. They were selling 2 units.
And the land size was about 4,000 square feet.
Exactly.
So this listing that you were selling was about 11,000 square feet detached, and it was a square land plot as compared to another developer's listing that was about 4,000 square feet, but marketing at 12 million.
Yes.
Even though it's a good condition unit.
Yes, it was going to be a new build, but it was building at the point of time.
New build, okay.
So I went to do all the calculations. I went to become an architect at the point of time.
Yeah.
So I went to do the calculations of the DC charges, the development charges. I went to calculate how much would it cost if you rebuild this whole place fully.
Yes.
I did the calculations. It totally makes sense. You will be way below 2,008 per square feet.
Yeah.
And yet you get something of your own choice of design.
You can actually design it yourself. I mean, that's the beauty of landed, where you can just start everything from scratch. Yeah, that's the difference of buying something that's moving and something where you can build everything from scratch yourself.
Definitely. And this unit was original condition, like pure original. You have seen it it would probably be like in the 1980s kind of design.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So there wasn't much renovation done throughout the years till now. So at the point of time, I did a calculation. I showed them that, hey, buyers, when you buy something at such a price, and yet you can do something to your own liking, you just got to wait a little bit longer than those new built ones. Wouldn't it be something that is worth going for? Yeah. Yeah. So at the point of time, those buyers started to be more receptive after they see these analyses and calculations that I did up, which took a lot of time.
Definitely.
Because these calculations were not easy, definitely. And after all, this unit was only 1.5 story.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't maximized yet.
It wasn't maximized yet. So I had to do the extra calculations to build up to 2.5 stories. Yes. So all these were all work that are to be done before the buyers could see it.
Yeah. So I believe this was done and showed to the buyer through the information kit.
Yes. So in the information kit, I put in various different kind of stuff, like what were the possibilities, what kind of what they could do if they were to subdivide, if they were to rebuild into one, and then all the sewage plan has been done, the drainage plan has been done to show them that if they can build a basement, if there were any drains running below them, that they can build a swimming pool and things like that. All these were already done up, which actually all these plans can be bought online.
So it helped to actually give the buyers the assurance whenever they come for viewing.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, so actually a lot of people think, hey, you know what, selling houses, it's just opening doors and then I think the buyers view the place and then okay, buy. But this is all the work that's being done behind the scenes, and it's also something that we follow through for every single listing, whether or not it's for HDB, condo, or even up to landed.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned before, actually, our listing operations is the same, whether or not it's for HDB, condo, or landed. It's just that we customize it slightly for different property types.
That's right.
So for landed, this is the work that we go through, from calculating how much the build-up would be for the construction.
Yes.
To ensure that the buyers are also, to ensure that we are actually getting the best price for the sellers.
Yes.
And buyers, whenever they come for viewings, they get the assurance that they are not overpaying.
Yes.
So buyers love value buy. And I'm pretty sure without this information kit that you did, they wouldn't be able to see the value because first, whenever they see a landed, they would first ask, hey, what's the address?
Yes,
right?
yes.
And they would go and look up for the address, and from there they would see, it's road facing, I don't want to view.
Yeah.
But for those that actually still made time to come for viewing, it is key to convert these buyers. But how do you actually convert these buyers? It's actually always through our information kit.
Yes.
Where we actually provide them the numbers, the calculation to give them the assurance.
Yep.
Was that how the buyers, how did the buyers feel when you were sharing with them the numbers?
After seeing the numbers, they felt more assured. Like, actually this is a rather good buy. And yet I cannot buy anything else in the market.
Yeah.
Because they either had to get something that was of a long driveway, something that was irregular plot that was in the market at that point of time, or this, which was squarish land plot.
Yeah.
They could either subdivide or build into something.
Yeah.
Because for landed, for detached, you need at least 21 meters minimally to build, to subdivide the unit. So this was the only unit at that point of time that could offer that to the buyers.
Yes. So this is also why I believe that it's important to always do a comparative analysis to understand, who are your competition? Because without this homework, it's going to be hard to identify the value of this plot of land. It's just like, if you don't even do your homework, you're not going to know how much your neighbors are selling at, how their land plot is even, whether or not their land plot is actually of regular plot or long driveway. So you have to go down to the detail of identifying the address, going to identifying the land shape, which takes a lot of time.
Correct.
And this is how thorough and detailed we are with coming into the research.
Yes, because even for irregular plots, especially those that are sloped or sunken, they have to go and level up the land.
Yeah.
And then they got to check, even if I level up, can I build to such a height anymore? Because they have that GFA, they can't build of a certain height restriction.
Yeah.
So all these must check because even airspace and things like that.
Definitely. Yeah, so actually, I think previously you mentioned that the owner gave you an exclusive of 3 months. But how long did we actually take to sell this listing?
Wow, so this listing took about 9 months to sell. It was eventually sold in October. So yeah, the owner throughout that 9 months renewed the exclusive with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people will have been wondering, why? Not 3 months expire, right?
Yes, usually standard in the market, exclusive is about 3 months. And sometimes after 3 months, the owners may not want to renew with you anymore.
Yep.
But how did you actually even convince the owner, or what were the things that you did where the owners actually managed to extend this exclusive all the way until even 9 months?
I think I didn't have to convince. I just showed what I done. Yeah, I just showed the owners that these were the things that I've done for them. And what kind of, I gave them all the various feedbacks from the buyers and what kind of updates we had. It was the kind of weekly updates. Even if there was no viewings, there was no inquiries, I still told them that.
Yeah.
And
so constant updates and feedbacks every week, even when there's no viewing.
Yeah, so it was the constant feedbacks, updates, and then showing them that what kind of analyses and all the calculations that I've done for them to show them that how I can portray their unit in the best possible way to the buyers.
Yeah. So how did the owners feel about your work throughout these 9 months from the first time you met them all the way until the closing day?
They felt that it was very detailed and that I was very hardworking.
Yeah.
I remembered on the closing day.
They still ask about your age.
They remember, obviously. They remembered. But I remember on the closing day when they accepted the offer from the buyers, they said that, Esmond, we really want you to sell and you deserve this.
Yeah.
Like you work really hard for this and we know that you can do it.
Yes.
And
I still remember on the closing day, you were calling me because you were trying to call Jervis, but he couldn't pick up because he was in an appointment.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I remember that night he told me, I closed the deal. I was so happy for this guy, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was, of course, happy for myself.
Yeah.
But at the point of time, I was happy for the owners because they could finally move on.
Yeah.
They really finally moved on from something that was huge and big.
To a cruise.
Yes, they are on a 2-month cruise and they are still not back yet. They'll be back like after Chinese New Year, in fact.
Oh wow, okay, so they are celebrating Chinese New Year on the cruise.
Yes. They'll be back, I think, on the 2nd week of Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're on a 2 months holiday cruise, enjoying their life.
Just before this podcast, I was asking Esmond, so where's the owner right now? Are they on holiday? Are they still in Singapore? Where are they?
They are, in fact, on a holiday. On a long holiday. 2 months.
Nice. I mean, you're already 70 years old. You just want to enjoy life. Right?
Yeah, you just want to not think about things, have that amount of money to retire very comfortably.
Yeah.
To be able to give your kids and just enjoy life.
Eventually, who was the buyer that came to buy this property actually?
So this buyer was in his early 40s.
Early 40s, okay.
Yeah. Currently owns a landed somewhere else, but he wanted to upgrade into a bigger place, like a bigger landed. Yeah, so when he saw this, after showing him everything, he knew that this was something that was of value because of the calculations I've done up. The numbers made sense. It wouldn't make sense to buy something that's 12 over million at 4,000 square feet.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, when you can buy 11,000 square feet.
You can build yourself and then customize it to your own taste. And
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And when he shared with me what he was going to build, I was like, this place is going to turn into a freaking palace.
You have to tell him, don't forget to invite me.
I'm not kidding when I say that. Like, he told me that I'll have a U shape and then I'll have like a mini fountain at the front. It's gonna be a grand entrance palace.
Like those homes that you would see in Europe.
I'm so excited to visit him for his housewarming.
Yeah.
But I think that will be in like 2 to 3 years' time.
Yes, another 2 to 3 years' time because it's 11,000 square feet of land. It's not something that you build within just like 6 months.
I think the estimated architect that gave him was about 24 months to about 30 months of rebuilding, which is 2.5 to 2.5 years.
Yes.
Yeah, but I'm still excited to go to his place. So this buyer came, eventually they bought it. He wasn't the first offer. He was the second offer.
You mentioned that there were 2 offers for this unit, right?
Yes.
So when did the first offer come in and when did the second offer?
The first offer came in at about in August. In August.
The first offer was in August, about 7 months.
So let's play as buyer A.
Yeah,
buyer A came in at about August. It came in at a pretty low offer at 13.5 million. I think they were just trying to test and see if the owners were serious. I told them that the owners were really serious.
Yeah.
But they decided to try 13.5 and say that I think this piece is only worth 13.5. Of course, it got rejected. But I still presented the offers to the sellers.
Yeah.
But it got rejected. And within that same week, I think in 3 to 4 days' time, they gave a higher offer. And this time, they gave it at 14.5. I motivated them a bit and pushed them a bit, but 14.5 is still a little far off from what the sellers want.
What was the valuation of the unit?
The valuation of the unit, right, was at about 15.5 to 16.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, however...
That was still about 1 million below the valuation.
Yes, the valuation is not as accurate as can be. Why is that so? It's because there wasn't any plots of land that had the same attributes that were transacted before.
Okay.
Yeah, so the valuation was not accurate. Because bankers, if they don't come down, they just use valuation based on last transacted.
Yes.
And if it's something that is like irregular plot of shape and transacted at maybe 1,001 per square feet, that's going to be your valuation there.
Yes. So like what we also mentioned before previously, bank valuation is not always the most accurate representation of your unit. Ultimately, it's about the buyer's demand because they are the ones paying for your place. But of course, what we can do is always to understand the surrounding transactions because bank valuations, what they do is they just take, what are some of the last transacted in the area and then they just use that as a valuation of your place. But what they don't take into consideration is the previous condition of the unit, the plot shape. Similarly for condos, especially for boutique condos, the last transactions can be like from 3-4 years back. So it's not always the most accurate representation. That's why you always have to do a comparator analysis in today's market.
Yes. So at the point of time, that was a valuation which was a little bit high.
Yes.
Because the other units that were transacted, I went to check it up and look it up. It was really nice.
Like it was like moving condition, nicely.
It wasn't moving condition, but it was almost the same condition, but it was sitting on a very nice plot. Whereby it wasn't road facing, it was corner, it was almost like a cul-de-sac unit.
Quiet, private.
Very quiet, very private. And you didn't have that like road facing, you didn't have irregular shape. And they could subdivide.
Yeah.
So the valuation was a bit far off, but I believe in the marketing in JNE.
Yeah.
So eventually the buyers at 14, when they offered 14.5, it was still rejected at that point of time. So I had to find different ways to market this. Yeah. So that was then when in September came buyer B. So when buyer B came, he said that, this is pretty decent, okay, let me go back and discuss after viewing on the afternoon. By that night, he gave an offer. Yeah. But it was at about 14.7 million.
So it's about 200k above the previous
because he asked me what was the last offer.
Yes,
so I said 14.5, then he tried a 14.7.
Yeah. Usually buyers like to try around the last rejected price.
So but it's the fact that every buyers want to buy cheap. It's true. I would want to buy cheap as well.
Fair.
Yeah, and as sellers, you want to sell high.
Yes.
But it's how we manage and bridge that gap between the two and show that it is of a decent price that you're selling, which is really high, and a decent price that you're buying.
Yes.
Yeah. So after that 14.7 got rejected, it was like quiet for like at least 3 weeks. So he went quiet. He went a bit of shopping and see if there were different plots of land.
Yes.
And then I told him that there's another plot elsewhere, but he didn't like the location all the way in West Coast. I told him that there's somewhere else in Kovan. All these were above 10,000 square feet, but he wasn't interested because he really wanted that area, which was very close to CTE. Yeah. It was just like the moment you turn out, I think in less than 30 seconds you reach CTE, and then you hit the highway to reach to go to his office.
Yeah.
So about in 3 weeks, at that point of time, he was just very stagnant and cold lah. So I remembered I was in Hong Kong at that point of time with my girlfriend.
Also on a 2 months cruise?
No. She was on a work trip. I was just there to accompany her. She was there at that point of time to do some shopping, I believe. So you know, when ladies do shopping, guys got nothing to do, right? That's when I started to call.
That's the beauty about real estate. It's like when you have this free time in between, you get to reach out to your clients, follow with your clients, reply your messages.
So I just had that feeling. You know, I had that just feel like, okay, let me call this guy.
Someone whispered to Esmond, hey, it's time to call your buyer now.
He was gone. So I just tried, I just called Mr. Buyer B.
Yeah.
And then I tried, I say, hey, Buyer B, it's been some time since you offered 14.7. Do you think there's something that you can accept and everything?
Yeah.
Then he said, you know what? I'm quite interested in that plot of land, but I don't want to overpay. It's true, everybody don't want to overpay.
Yeah.
That's why he said, why not you tell me what I can buy at and close at, then I'll give you the offer and check. Yeah. I said, I can't promise you anything,
Yep.
Because today, whatever that I say is not what the owners can decide at the end of the time, at the end of the table. So he said, okay, you know what? I'm going to try. But when are you back? Of course, I told him I was on holiday. I told him I'll be back by that week.
Yeah. Well, if you can give me an offer right now, I'll fly back right now.
No, he didn't give me an offer. But he told me that when I'm back, give him a call and then he'll be ready to give me an offer.
Yeah.
So true enough, when I came back, I called him up. I remember it was sometime in the afternoon when I called him up. And he said, okay, you know what? You can go to my wife's place later to collect a check. She'll write you an offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I was like, hi, at the point of time, I don't even know what's the offer at.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was quite worried. I scared he's going to give me maybe 15 or 14.9. Yeah. I was like, cannot how to buy? How to sell? Cannot, right?
Yeah.
The owners. So before I collected the check, I went to meet the owners at the point of time.
Oh, so you actually met with the owners first before collecting the checks?
Yeah, I want to see if the owners got changed their goalposts and they wanted maybe this time they still want 17.5 or even 18, right? Because so at the point of time, throughout the whole 9 months, they have really priced themselves and saw that the analysis to be at about 16 million was what they wanted.
Yeah.
And that was the baseline.
So they actually adjusted the expectation from 17.5 to 16, so about 1.5 million down.
So how they decided to do that was because of all the different analyses that are done up for them and showing that.
The constant updates, and they also see the effort they put in. It's not like you're just waiting there for a buyer, but you're actually putting all the analysis and the hard work in to bring a buyer in.
That's right. So at 17.5 was impossible. It was impossible because of their land attribute.
Yeah.
If it was elevated, it was squarish, it was not facing road, regular, maybe it could have been.
Yeah.
But it was impossible. So they asked me what kind of pricing I could give them at. I said, we can try something at about 16 to 16.5. Then they said, but 16.5, they felt that still a bit low for them at the point. I said, okay, you know what, let's try 16 first. If 16 got people even try to offer, then maybe you can try to get 16.5, right? Yeah, so they said, okay, you know what, we trust you. We've seen the work that you have done, we've seen the analysis that you have done for us, it made sense.
Yeah, they really see you as a grandson.
They did. Every time when I went over, there was drinks. Yes, there was kombucha, homemade kombucha, okay. And it was they offered dinner and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they said, okay, you know what, we trust you, let's try 16 first.
Yes.
So after the owners told me that, I went to the buyers straight away. So I told the buyers, you know what, give me your best offer. The owners are a bit more realistic now at this point of time. So they thought for a while, obviously. I mean, the wife at that point of time, eventually she wrote me a check. Yeah. And then I didn't dare to look at the check at that point of time.
It's like your exam result. How much am I getting this time?
Yeah, she said, you know what, Esmond, take this check and then we hope to hear from you the best of news. Yes. When I saw the check, I was like, it's 15.7. Yeah. It's really close. Yeah. It's 300,000 from the owner's expectations.
So they initially offered 14.7.
Yes. So
and then they increased their offer to 15.7.
Yes.
So that is 1 million up.
Yeah. I think maybe it was the owners are more realistic. Then let's 1 million.
Yes. That is crazy. Not every negotiation can bring you up just by 1 million.
Yes, but of course behind the works, I shared with them various things.
Definitely.
Like how this plot of land, even if you buy it at this price, you're still buying undervalued.
Yes.
Because a new build is going to cost you at this price.
Yes.
What else is there to buy in the market?
Yes.
For such a regular, squarish plot of land?
That's why for our side, we always believe that whenever you get a listing sold at record price, it's not just about opening the home and getting the buyers in.
Yes.
It's always about how to convert that buyer and showing them the value of the place.
Yes.
For them to even feel like, them paying at this price, they are still getting it at value.
Yes.
Because the thing about negotiation is your seller wants to feel like they are winning.
Yep.
The buyers also want to feel like they are winning.
Definitely.
So negotiation is always the key part to closing a deal. It's not just about when they view and okay, done, that's
exactly. It's not just a professional door opener.
Yes. It's not a butler where you just open, okay, show them around and then say bye. It's really about following through every single detail throughout the operations.
That's right. I think negotiation is really one of the key ingredient in real estate.
Definitely. And that's why even until today, I think we are all still learning in negotiation.
Yes, we are all still in the process to get there.
Yes.
But eventually, I think we still need to learn lah.
Yeah, there's still a lot of things to learn.
Yeah, negotiation is not something that's easy. It's not like you go to the Bangkok market on the floating market or perhaps Chatuchak.
That one also still needs
200
skills.
baht, 300 baht, you get it from 500 baht. It's not
that
bad.
You still need skills to build rapport with the seller at the Bangkok market, you know.
It's not that easy, you know. Today, we are talking about millions of dollars.
Yes.
Which is someone's hard-earned money that they have probably saved up over the years.
Yeah.
So with that piece of check at 15.7 million, I went back to the owners.
Yeah.
They were quite shocked lah.
Yeah.
Because they said, huh, Esmond, you come back within the same night from afternoon we tell you. No, it happened from like that whole day.
Yes.
It was just in a single day.
That whole day was just you increasing the offer from 14.7 all the way to 15.7. So within one day, you have the owner another $1 million.
Yes, correct. So I said, yes, I came back. He said, don't disappoint us leh. I said, don't worry. I'm pretty confident you guys are gonna like this.
Yeah.
So they said, you know what, Esmond, how much is it? I guess 15.5 lah. I said, close enough.
They guessed 15.5.
Yes, they did.
So that means you exceeded the expectation by 200k.
Yes. So they said, actually, Esmond, 16 is something we want lah, but we know we can close something below that. I was like, wow, okay.
Tick, 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 tick.
I got something. I'm afraid they say 15.9, you know.
Yeah.
So I said, so is it 15.5 is what you want? They say, maybe lah, about there lah, plus minus or close. So eventually I showed them the 15.7 million offer. They were shocked and happy at the same time.
Yeah.
The husband was like, hey, dear, come. He called the wife over and said, hey, look at this. You know, and they accepted the offer right away at the point of time.
Nice.
So
and then they went on a cruise.
I think 1 week plus 2 weeks later, they went on a cruise.
Wow.
Yes.
So they already planned for the cruise before they got the offer, or was only after they got the offer?
I think it was before leh. I think they were confident lah.
So, so the check came in just right before they went to the cruise.
Enjoy.
So they can really enjoy the cruise.
Yes.
Oh, that must be really nice and good news for them.
They were really shocked. They were really happy. And yeah, like what I mentioned at the closing table, they said that, Esmond, you really deserve it.
You really did lah.
And
9 months of hard work and the analysis that you put in.
And then I also told them lah, like, you know why? Because October, that was when we saw interest rates started to drop. When interest rates drop, buying purchase increases because buyers could loan more.
Yes.
But really, little did I know that this buyer didn't buy with any loan.
Oh, it was full cash?
Yes, it was.
Money laundering? Hey, kidding.
No lah. I did a little bit of background check. He is quite a known high up role in a certain company. Yeah. That's all I can share lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I knew that this buyer had money, but he was just waiting for the market to move. Yeah, when transactions started to happen more, lenders started to move a little. Yeah, because I gave the sellers a bit of assurance too, you know, you're not the only one that's not selling. Everybody in the market, the lender is not moving.
And usually November, December is a slower period.
Yes.
So it was really good that they actually got the offer in October just right before the holiday season.
Yes. Because true enough, in that 21 days of option period, after the buyer collected my option that very same night, they went for like a 2 weeks break. They came back on the last week just to exercise.
The
buyers. Yes.
So both sellers and buyers.
Yes, they went overseas, bro. So the buyers also go overseas.
So did you also go overseas?
No, I did not. I came back already.
You continue to work hard.
Yes. So they both went overseas. The buyer said, I'll wait until the last week to exercise. They were not afraid. So they were quite certain at that point of time already, I believe, with the analysis because they told me to send over those things to them. So I think throughout that 3 weeks when it was stagnant and cold, they actually did some
they were doing their own homework also.
Yes, and calculations for themselves.
I mean, still it's like a $16 million property. You're not just buying it from a fish market, right? So you would definitely want to do some research on your own also. Yeah, I mean, it's fair.
So yeah, that is how it was done eventually.
Nice. So how did you feel after closing that deal?
Of
that
course,
was the biggest deal that you did for for your career, right? For
definitely.
the 2 years.
I think it probably is one of the biggest deal that I would have done.
Yeah. Did you learn a lot from this deal?
But I know that it's not going to be the biggest deal thus far.
Yes, not yet.
Biggest things
Only for now.
ahead.
For now, yes.
Okay, something is cooking.
Yes.
Okay. But how do I feel? I think at that point of time, I felt like, wow, actually...
Okay, maybe how did you first feel when you got the listing? And how did you feel when you actually got it sold?
I think when I first got the listing, I was like, actually this Esmond can try.
This Esmond can
Like, 36 years old, 1 year, start of the second year, can try and get a 60 million listing, 17 million at that point of time. Can, then let's go lah, Because I had a bit of doubts of myself in the first year in the career, It's always like that. I believe a lot of agents out there, you're feeling this way. No doubts. Because you're venturing to something new, you're jumping into full-time, you have something that's limitless, but yet you also have that fear of, what's going to happen every month?
Is it possible or not?
Yeah. And I totally understand where you guys are coming from. So at that point of time, I was like, actually just follow the systems and structures in JNA.
Yes.
It just works like that.
It works. It works. If it works for others, why would it not work for me?
Exactly. So I was like, just follow and just show it to your clients with the most genuine heart that you can have. I think that's the most important. Because sellers easily can sieve and sniff if you are there to just fluff.
Yes. Yeah, I think in this industry, it's all a lot about mindset.
Yes.
And whenever you take up a listing, sometimes why it's stuck is because you yourself feel like it's not going to get sold.
Yep.
But you have to just have that shift in mindset that, whatever listing I take, I'm going to sell it.
That's right.
Yeah, the moment you believe that you're going to sell it, you will sell it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that was when I first got the listing. But then throughout the first 3 months, I think when I got the listing, I was a bit down. Wow, how's nothing for my sellers, no offers, and the viewings was bad.
Yeah.
Because the viewings, I think, came in eventually, maybe 5 months later, when the interest rates were starting to cool off a little bit of news from it, then they started to be more open to view.
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes we also have to understand, why is it that there are no viewings? It could be a price issue, which you mentioned to the owners already, and you have already updated the owners. So at least they're aware. So that's why sometimes when listing is stuck on the market for some time, we always have this review and constant update with the owners. So at least they also know, what's happening to my listing?
Yeah.
Why is it not moving? So at least they are updated.
Because the owners see you come and open door and do viewing, they see you do work, but they don't know what happened, They don't know, today if I see 20 viewings, what's going to happen? Why no update? That means what? No offer? Or what? Or is it got all offer, but all maybe so low,
Low ball
and owners will be very lost. So it's very important that we as agents give them that updates
and direction
and feedback. Correct.
Yes.
And
sometimes some
them.
owners they don't have access to these data.
Correct.
So sometimes what they need from you is actually a direction on how they should move forward or go ahead with their next step.
Yep. So it's very important that we update them and guide them and show them that actually what's something that's reasonable for them.
Definitely.
What's something that's good for them.
Yep.
And of course, what is eventually something that will help them, move on to retirement, because that's their eventual
that's
goal.
what their goal is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But at that point of time, when I first got the listing, they told me this, Esmond, we are very comfortable living here actually. We are quite comfortable. We don't have to move on unless something good comes out. I was like, GG 17.5 is something that's unachievable. But you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. Let's do.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's always good to try out the pricing. So at least we ourselves as agent, and we can also actually try and see whether or not it is something acceptable by the market. Instead of rejecting yourself first, at least it's always good to try out and then give the owners an update and then do some price adjustment along the way. Yeah. So I think that's also what you did. And that's something that we always follow through. So from this listing, what was your key takeaway or pro tips that you have for sellers or agents out there that is selling their listing?
I think my main key takeaway for this is that to all agents out there, always remember to give your clients updates, frequent updates, because it helps to build the connection and the trust between you and them. I think that was very important and crucial for this particular deal of mine, that I had that trust with that client.
Especially to get that 9 months exclusive.
Yes, 9 months exclusive.
It's not common in the market.
Which is they are more than thrice my age.
Yes.
And they still trusted in me, in the systems, and then the value that I provided for them.
Yeah.
And to all owners out there, I think there's no home that cannot be sold.
Yes.
And I believe that I would sell every home as though I was selling for a family member of mine.
Nice.
Because every home can be sold. It's just how you portray that unit in its best possible way and finding out the value of it and showing it to the buyers.
Definitely. That is also what I truly believe in.
Yeah, and that's not what everybody out there can do because you got to go deep into the research, calculations.
Yes.
Being an architect, sometimes you got to be ID.
You have to
sometimes
work with architects, builders, contractors, ID.
And then you got to know what kind of plans are there, any real line plans, any road line plan, any reserve, all these things.
That's why they say as a realtor, you're just an all-in-one. You're a lawyer, you're a banker, you're an architect, you're an ID.
Yes. Sometimes they ask you, this place for commercial, I can do what or not? What, everything they ask you, I tell you. But I think that's the beauty of our job, When we know it all, that's when clients see how much value you have in them.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why they decide to follow you and trust you.
Yeah.
With their purchase or be it the selling of their homes.
Nice.
Yep.
That's it for today. That is the key takeaway that we have from Esmond today. So for those of you who's looking to offload your listing or unsure on how to move forward with your plans, our QR code is going to be right here below so you can reach out to us. Thank you so much for staying till the end of this episode. We hope you benefited from it. So bye. See you on the next one.